And the first thing we did, of course, was to condole and commiserate with the People's Republic of China over the occurrence of a severe earthquake in southwestern China, and to also recognize the efforts of the Chinese authorities to tackle this unfortunate incident. So our hearts go out to you. I think I'll pause for translation, or should I go on? Okay. And also to state that this is the first country in the new year that Minister Wang Yi is visiting the African continent. And of course, this visit is building on the gains of the FOCAC that took place in 2024, and importantly, President Tinubu's state visit, which was judged by all to be very successful. The bilateral discussions we had, both in the ministry and then, of course, the audience that Mr. President was gracious enough to grant the minister, which underscores the importance of the relationship between Nigeria and China, bordered on discussions of mutual interest to do with economic, political interests. And then, of course, the MOUs that were signed during the FOCAC in numerous areas: energy, communications, agriculture, finance, transportation, infrastructure, and petrochemicals. Nigeria remains committed to the implementation of the agreements and MOUs, and also, of course, to, just like Minister Wang said, to ensure that we expand this upgraded relationship, which is the comprehensive strategic partnership. It covers several areas. Now, the partnership reflects our shared vision, of our two nations, to foster economic growth, sustainable development, and mutual prosperity. So I would say that the goal is to improve the livelihood of our peoples. And this, of course, is the vision and commitment of the founder of modern China, Sun Yat-sen, President Xi Jinping, and our very own President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So they share the same vision when it comes to this. Ultimately, this is what this is about. I thank you very much.
The Nigerian side for the condolences expressed over the earthquake that took place in Xizang, China. Under the leadership of the CPC Central Committee, the Chinese people have worked together to bring the situation there under control. Humanitarian rescue is being carried out in an orderly manner. The Chinese people will be able to win over any natural disaster and rebuild our homeland. I have just met with President Tinubu and held productive talks with Foreign Minister Togar. Under the strategic planning of President Xi Jinping and President Tinubu, China-Nigeria relations have achieved three major outcomes. First, we have achieved a new leap in the characterization of our relations. Our two presidents jointly announced the elevation of China-Nigeria relations to a comprehensive strategic partnership. Second, we have worked together to establish a new platform. The first plenary session of the Intergovernmental Committee between China and Nigeria has been successfully held, contributing to the elevation in quality of our cooperation. Third, our cooperation at the international arena has reached new heights. our two sides have coordinated closely in international and regional affairs and worked together for the collective rise, development, and vitalization of the global South. Over more than half a century since the establishment of diplomatic ties, no matter how changes occur in the international landscape, China and Nigeria have always, in the spirit of mutual respect and equality, deepened our friendship and pursued practical cooperation, setting a fine example of South-South cooperation and an important exemplar of China-Africa cooperation. Under the guidance of our two presidents, we should continue to make our relations strategic, continue to firmly support each other on issues concerning our respective core concerns, and continue to be each other's good brother that is trustworthy. We should continue to make our relations exemplary, dare to be the first, and to provide momentum and confidence for high-quality development of China-Africa cooperation and the modernization of Africa. We should continue to make our relations complementary, leverage our respective strengths, and further tap the cooperation potential in areas including clean energy, green mining, and finance. And we should also make our relations comprehensive, work for the coordinated development of cooperation in areas such as economy and trade, agriculture, people-to-people exchanges, national defense, science and technology, and space. I believe that through the joint efforts of the two sides, the China-Nigeria Comprehensive Strategic Partnership will surely embrace an even brighter tomorrow. Thank you.
所给予的慰问，在党中央的领导下，全国人民共同努力，灾情已经得到有效的管控，人道救援在有序的推进。中国人民一定会战胜任何自然灾害，并重建自己的家园。三大突出的成果：一是关系定位实现了新的飞跃，两国元首共同宣布中尼关系提升为全面战略伙伴关系；二是团结协作建立了新平台，中尼政府间委员会首次全会成功召开，推动中尼合作提质升级，协同并进；三是国际合作达到了新的高度，双方在国际地区事务中密切协调，携手推进全球南方群体性崛起和发展振兴。建交半个多世纪以来，无论国际风云如何变幻，中尼始终本着相互尊重、平等相待的精神，深化友好，务实合作，成为南南合作的成功的范例，中非合作的重要的标杆。我们要在两国元首的引领之下，坚持中尼关系的战略性，继续在涉及彼此核心关切问题上坚定的相互支持，始终做相互依赖的好兄弟。我们要突出中尼关系的示范性，继续敢为人先，为中非合作高质量发展和非洲现代化注入动力和信心。我们要发挥中尼关系的互补性，充分对接各自的优势，不断挖掘清洁能源、绿色矿产、金融等新领域合作的潜力。我们还要拓展中尼关系的全面性，推动经贸、农业、人文、国防、科技、航天等各领域合作全面协同发展。相信在双方共同努力之下，中尼全面战略伙伴关系必将迎来更加辉煌的明天。
Indeed, as you mentioned, the renewal of the currency swap agreement shows how well we have carried out our financial cooperation and sustained its momentum. As with regard to Nigeria's wish to increase the line of the currency swap, we will favorably study and consider the issue. Our cooperation is going well in many ways in terms of finance. For instance, We welcome the panda bonds to be issued. We welcome Nigeria to issue panda bonds in China because we have full confidence in Nigeria's credibility. And by issuing panda bonds, Nigeria will gain good revenue and the safety is guaranteed. Through financial support, we are working to contribute to Nigeria's infrastructure development, in particular railway. Just a few days ago, Chinese banks supported, through financial funds, the building of the Phase 3 of the railway modernization project, and it has been delivered. So there are many details that are taking place between our cooperation, and I would advise you to go to the Chinese embassy for the detailed list. Overall, our cooperation is comprehensive, and we would like to further boost it. As century accelerate across the world, the spillover effect of international hotspot issues are having a serious effect on the security situation of Africa. As an important member of the international community, how will China contribute to upholding to Africa's safeguard of peace and stability?
这是个大家都关心的问题我们认为，当今世界，只有同求共济，才能合力应对各类安全的挑战。习近平主席在中非合作论坛北京峰会上宣布，中非携手推进现代化的6大主张以及10大伙伴行动，和平安全都是其中的重要的组成部分。中方愿意同非洲的朋友们一道，推动全球安全倡议在非洲落地生根。携手建设和平安全的现代化，共筑新时代全天候的中非命运共同体。中国将坚定支持非洲人以非洲方式来解决非洲的问题。非洲人民才是这片大陆真正的主人，完全有智慧、有能力，也有权利解决好自己的问题。中方反对外部势力以任何形式干涉非洲国家的内政，坚定支持非盟和各次区域组织发挥建设性的作用，支持非洲的大国加强引领性的行动，推动通过对话协商来化解矛盾分歧，通过政治途径来解决热点问题。中国将坚定支持非洲加强核安能力的建设，我们将同非方建立落实全球安全倡议伙伴关系，打造倡议合作的示范区，推进安全共筑伙伴行动，向非洲提供10亿元人民币的无偿军事援助，帮助非洲国家培训6000名军队的人才和1000名警务执法人员。中方还将继续支持非洲常备军和快速反应部队的建设，支持非洲国家开展维和反恐行动。中国将坚定支持非洲维护自身的正当利益，践行真正的多边主义，不允许霸权主义和强权政治在非洲兴风作浪。中方在联合国安理会的一票永远属于非洲。我们将一如既往在多边场合为非洲国家的合理诉求仗义执言。作为第2大维和捐款国，中方将继续支持联合国在非洲的维和行动。我们还将坚定支持非洲通过发展促进安全。我们愿意同非方共同开展10大伙伴行动，利用好峰会宣布的3600亿元人民币额度的资金支持，深化各个领域的合作，助力非洲消除不安全的土壤，以发展振兴来实现长治久安。尼日利亚是非洲的大国和西共体的轮值主席国，在维护西非和萨赫勒地区和平方面发挥着重要作用。中方支持尼日利亚团结地区国家，坚持联合自强，以和解聚合力，以发展促安全，维护好地区的和平稳定。中方也愿意为此做出我们力所能及的贡献。谢谢。
This is an issue on the top of all of our minds. In the world today, only through global solidarity can we together respond to the various security challenges. At the FOCAC Beijing Summit, President Xi Jinping announced 6 propositions and 10 partnership actions for China and Africa to jointly advance modernization, and peace and security are an important part of it. China would like to work with Africa to deliver on the Global Security Initiative in Africa, and together achieve a modernization featuring peace and security, and build an all-weather China-Africa community with a shared future for the new era. China will firmly support Africans in addressing African issues in the African way. African people are the real masters of this continent. They have every wisdom, capability, and right to resolve their own issues. China opposes foreign interference in the internal affairs of African countries, firmly supports the African Union and the sub-regional organizations in playing a constructive role, support major African countries in strengthening their leading positions and promoting the resolution of disagreements and disputes through dialogue and consultation, and the settlement of hotspot issues through the political way. China will firmly support Africa in strengthening peace and security capacity building. We will work with Africa to establish a partnership for implementing the Global Security Initiative, or GSI, and make it a fine example of GSI cooperation. We will work to advance the partnership action for common security and provide 1 billion yuan of grants in military assistance to Africa, and help train 6,000 military personnel and 1,000 police and law enforcement personnel for African countries. China will also continue to support the building of the African Standby Force and the Rapid Response Forces, and support African countries in carrying out counterterrorism peacekeeping operations. China will firmly support Africa in safeguarding its legitimate rights and interests, practicing true multilateralism and not letting power politics and bullyism find their place in Africa. At the United Nations Security Council, China's vote will always go to Africa, and we will continue to speak up for the legitimate voice of African countries at multilateral arena. As the second largest contributor to peacekeeping operations, China will continue to support the United Nations in carrying out peacekeeping operations in Africa. China will also firmly support Africa in achieving security through development. We will work with Africa to jointly carry out the 10 partnership actions and make good use of the 360 billion yuan of funding support announced at the summit. And through deepening cooperation in various areas, we will work with Africa to address the soil for insecurity and achieve long-term stability through development. Nigeria is an important country in Africa and the chair of ECOWAS. It plays an important role in safeguarding peace and stability in Western Africa and the Sahel region. China supports Nigeria in rallying countries in the region to achieve strength through unity, to build synergy through reconciliation, and to promote security through cooperation in order to achieve peace and stability in the region. And China would like to make its contribution to the best of its ability to that end. Thank you.
签署了新一期的货币互换的协议，那么延续了我们金融合作的一个良好的势头。这次会谈当中，尼日利亚朋友们提出来希望扩大货币互换协议的份额，那么我们会认真的对待这件事情，积极的考虑朝这个方向来进行研究。我们的金融合作发展是很好的，比如说我们已经明确的表示欢迎尼日利亚到中国去发行熊猫债，也就是说，我们对尼日利亚的信用是有充分的信心的。那么在中国发行熊猫债，那么将会有很好的收益，并且得到它的安全的确保。我们也在通过金融支持的方式来助力尼日利亚的经济的建设，特别是你们的铁路建设。也就是刚刚前几天，我们的银行又再次向尼日利亚的3期铁路的项目 提供了融资的支持，这个支持已经到位了。所以你要问我们合作的一些细节和成果的话，确实我们需要花很长时间向你做一一的介绍。我建议将来你可以到我们的使馆去，或者我们的使馆会给你提供一份更加详细的清单。总之，我们的合作是全方位的，那么我们会继续那么这个深入的向前推进。谢谢。